Okay, we are live, just making sure here. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 20-minute live. My name is Natalie Cololilo, and I am the founder of Happy Healthy Women. And I'm so grateful to be here with the amazing Christine Samuel, who is a trailblazer in our Toronto West branch. So today we're in for a treat because Christine is going to share with us some incredible things on mindset. But before she jumps in, I just wanted to share that Christine is an incredible well-being coach. She is a mindfulness facilitator, and she is also the founder of Inner Work Matters. So before we jump into talking about mindset and the topic that we're here to discuss today, Christine, did you want to share a little bit about yourself and tell us your story and how you started doing the work that you do?
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's been a long journey. For me, I used to suffer for high functioning anxiety. So everything I do, I feel like I was afraid that I'm gonna mess up. There's a lot of anxieties, a lot of stress, and there's one point in my life that I have autoimmune disease, and then that is my turning point. That's I realized there's something I need to change something here. Um, so instead of looking for Western medications and trying to heal myself, autoimmune disease with medication and stuff, I went through tons of books on Chinese traditional medicines, self improvement, Ayurveda. And through that, I found in a way that that's my start journey of inner going insights, because that's where everything is. Things that we feel about the world, things that we think the world does to us, it's
Mhm.
actually a reflections of our inner world. So from there, it's been my purpose to kind of share that, and to bring some more awareness and more self compassion and more curiosities to look within, to learn from what we feel, to learn from our struggles, and to raise from the place inside.
I love that so much, and I love what you just said about to learn from our struggles, and so that really leads me to us talking or me asking you about the topic that we're here to discuss today, which is surrounding the whole idea of seeing things happening to us versus seeing things happening for us. And it's an interesting topic for this time, right? Especially as women business owners, during this pandemic, as we navigate through, as we try to figure out how to make this happen. I've heard from a lot of entrepreneurs that have said, things were already tough as it was trying to get my business off the ground, and this hasn't really helped. So, tell me about, first of all, why did you decide to have this conversation with us today about to us versus for us?
I think, again, this is about inner, right? So in anything we do, our response to others, our actions, of what we think, it comes down from kind of a mental frame, a set, something. Like when we think about, oh, I got to do something, or I don't like this, or I like this one, there's also there's already an assumptions under it that we're not aware of. And now this work comes from Jim Demer. He wrote a book called Conscious Leaderships, and the idea of there are four different state of consciousness, meaning it's not like you go to grade one, grade two, grade three, but in everyday life we move from this different state. So what we need is to be aware of, like, even having feeling like anxiety, worry about business, am I going to make it or not, what is in there, what we can learn from that. Because if we're not aware of everything, if it's there's no awareness, usually we go into default of life happens to me, right? So what that means is things happen to me. Even my feeling, the one I feel, happens to me. And what in that situation is, first of all, there's this idea or unconscious idea that we're not in control, that the
Mm,
world around us is happened to us. And we put ourselves in the victims mentalities, right? The idea of like, if life happened to me, is either I'm a victim, there's a if we are a victim, there's a villain, right? There's somebody that caused that to us. There's also another thing about that is hero syndromes. And this is relationship with others. Like we help others because they're victims, and then we feel good about it. Then we come back to it again. So in this mentalities, if you kind of notice what is your thoughts, what's your feeling, in this consciousness, what happened is we are reactive. Whatever we do, because when we feel bad or we don't feel good about something, we want to do something, we want to fix it, right? There's always this fixing mentalities, because in a way things happen to us, that means we're not in control, that means we need to be in control and we need to fix it. So there's always an idea of, it's survival. It's put us into survival mode because we always reactive. We always try to be defensive response, and things with entrepreneurial as well. It's like in this mode, if opportunity comes, we tend to say no because we want to feel safe. We tend to say no, even like yes, but like how about this? Trying to find out what we need to do if something bad happens or worse thing happens, right? And in this way, our our perspective is very narrow because it's all about defensiveness. It's about reaction. Now, it's always about why me? Whose fault is this? And in relationship or in situation, how could they do this to me? Or
mhm,
how, like, why COVID-19? Why this has happened to me? This has caused my business, to struggle, right? So why? Then we become reactive, become worry. But then there's another level of that is for me, meaning I make life happens. Now, if we can change this into for me, what happens is we increase our responsibility. Now, responsibility with this consciousness that things, challenges happen for me, we be able to increase our response ability, because in this way we can start to say, what can I learn from here, or what can I create from here? And in this mode it's easier to say yes, right? Because there's always this curiosity, oh, what's there. And in this mode it's also allow us to be more willing to deal with uncertainty,
mhm,
because in this mode it's more like we are growing, and also in this mode we exercising our power, right? Our power to choose. So in a way, like every time we try to make decisions, we look at situations, we think about what do I need to do in the business, kind of go inside and say, okay, when I'm look at this, am I looking at from this has happened to me or this has happened for me? And from that place, when we know, it's a different response that we can give, right? We can be reactive, oh, I need to do something, I need to create this and that. But like we can allow ourselves to have space to kind of digest and say, okay, what can I learn from this? Even failure.
mhm. Yes, I love that. I love the idea of it automatically changes, like in so many ways. It changes the energy, right? When you ask the question of, is why is this like, why is this happening for me versus why is this happening to me? The energy around that question is so, so different. It's so much more expansive. It allows us to really like open our eyes and open our hearts to answers of what we need to learn, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So one of the questions that I have is, how can we start to um, change that? Because this is habitual, right? Like if someone has gone 40 years, for example, feeling like, why has this happened to me, through every trial and tribulation that they've lived through, how can we start to change that habit and start to think more from a proactive place?
For me, it's to understand what feelings is about, right? This is the thing about, I think, in our life, we know how, like, if we have like a cut in our finger, we know, oh, I need to clean it up, I put some band-aid just to make it heal. But nobody teach us about emotional wound, right? Emotional wound. Okay, so I have this wound open and I just walk around and sometimes I scratch it. I don't know, nobody teaches
Yeah,
us. And
yeah,
what happened is, in most people, like even myself and in everyone's childhood, we have this developmental trauma. It's not like, it's more about, uh, most people grow up as a child thinking bad feelings like it's shameful, right? So like, you know, um, child crying, don't cry, or like child having time to, don't do that in front of other people. So everything that we learn from childhood is like, any expressive and bad, you know, crying or wanting or whining is bad, right? So when we feel that, it's bad feeling, I don't feel good by myself. I have the to-do list. I don't do three of them. I only do one. Then I feel, and we start to judge ourselves. Now, if we understand what is feelings, I think that would help us to be more um, clear. Okay, this is not me. This is not about who I am. This is just my skin, my sensory system feeling there's a cold, there's cold, it's warm, it's hot. So because if we think about, oh, I feel anxious right now, I don't want to feel anxious, it's feel really bad, then we getting into like judging ourselves, analyzing ours. We get into like, oh, why does this happen to me easily? But if we think, okay, so I'm feeling anxious right now, and anxious is like there's something coming, like rain coming, and my skin feel the rain. That's basically what it is. Is our sensory system for a mental body. So we don't say, oh my god, I feel cold, I don't like the cold, that's like I'm feel bad because I'm cold, like I'm not enough because it's cold. No, we don't do that with the sensory system, with what we see and what we like feel. But we did that to our feeling. So if we know, it's just like, oh, this is telling me at this moment I'm thinking negative. This is telling me I feel this way at this moment. I'm worried. I'm not. So by looking at feeling as kind of an indication if it's hot or not, or smelly or not smelly, we're able to say, okay, now it's cold. I'm gonna take my sweater. I'm gonna close my window, right? So that's giving us a way of like, now it's me. That feeling is not me. It's not really related to my identity. I'm feeling something, like I'm sad. Like people say I'm sad. When we say I'm sad, I sad. Like meaning like this is me. My identity is sad. But like if we say I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling worry, we can say, okay, that's my feeling. What can I do right now? Even I can learn from that feeling, and
mhm,
have that kind of mindfulness way of looking at ourselves, looking at our reaction. So again, in my work, mindfulness is very important because that's the way of giving us space to be able to see and have a different perspective about our experience.
Absolutely. I agree. Mindfulness, even just a simple meditation every day, can really help quiet the mind and allow you to have answers come, right? And have you make you more aware of everything that you're feeling and why, right? And so I totally agree with that. And I love that mindfulness is such a big piece of what it is that you do. Um, can you talk a little bit about some results that we can expect in terms of um, being more mindful of, like, what are some results that you've seen maybe with clients, in terms of being more mindful of this mindset work that we do?
I feel with my client, what I usually do, especially in the coaching sessions, I give them when they feel like anxious, I give them space. Like, let's stay with this feeling
Hmm.
and see what this feeling wanna tell you.
Hmm.
So giving that space, and it's very interesting thing happened with that, because then there's recently this woman feel very anxious about couldn't sleep and things like that, and I asked her to like just stay with that and see if there's any other feelings that come out. And what happened is I'm actually angry. I was not just anxious, I was angry. So especially with that worry, anxious, there's also another feelings that come with it. So with that, being able to give space, we're able to know and see more, and then we can respond better because
Hmm.
because of we're willing to wait and give that space. So for me, I felt my work is more allowing that space to happen so that the innate wisdom can come out, because we all have answers. If we have questions, if questions come from inside, there's answer also come from inside. And another thing what I like to do also to bring women in a different state. So we talk about to me, for me, the next one is through me.
Through
Can
me.
I cooperate with life as it happened? And asking what lives want to come through me, through my work, through my business, right? And in that space, we talk about reactive responsibility, and this space is surrendering and co-creation. We don't create ourselves, create with, right? And that this is a place where we can allowing, wonder, being comfortable in not knowing, and in flow state. That's
Hmm.
the next step. And in this step, mindfulness is really matter.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. And you're just in speaking with you, Christine, I feel calm. You have such a beautiful presence about you, such a beautiful energy. I could just imagine, what your work is like. And I'm sure that people get such incredible results by working with you. So, on that note, can
Thank
you
you.
share a little bit about how you work with people? Are you more of a one on one coach, or do you do group sessions? How does it work in your practice?
I do both. I do one-on-one. I also do group practice. Even in the healthy happy one west, I have a weekly meetup from chaos to calm. So it's more incorporating mindfulness and topics, and just talking heart to heart together.
Hmm.
Um, and also do one-on-one coaching sessions, especially related to balance, inner balance, flow state, purpose, and and in a way like what we like to give to the world, and also how to handle overthinking, because that was my problem before. So I can speak on that, and yeah, being in
Beautiful.
this.
So, where would people go to find out more information on how to work with you? Do you offer a free consultation? How does it work?
Yeah, so I offer free consultations if people who would like to work with me. It's like, we kind of dating in a way. We see if we work well together. So I did
Yeah,
that. I have that. So my website is innerworkmatters.com. So innerworkmatters.com. Or you can find me on Facebook as well. Uh, that's what I offer. And in September, I also planning to do a transformative self care 8 weeks workshop, like online class. The idea of like building the foundations of what Robin Sharma called four interior empires of a healthy life. So building a foundation of health set, heart set, mindset, and soul set through self care practice. That's my plan for
beautiful.
September.
I love this. And this is the work, and I've been talking to a lot of people lately who are just feeling frustration with not being able to get to the next place that they want to get to, not wanting to meet their goals. And I firmly, firmly believe that this is the work. Everything that we're talking about, feeling good, expanding, opening up, allowing versus, struggling versus pushing, this is the work. And so I thank you so much, Christine, for joining us today with Happy Healthy Women. And I have learned so much, and I'm so grateful to have you in this collective, teaching and leading our amazing community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Natalie, for having me. I'm honored to be here.
My pleasure. And for those of you who are needing a little bit more calm, or looking for, a different way to do things, a different way to allow, please do get in touch with Christine, and she can help you, and point you in the right direction at innerworkmatters.com. And also, if you are someone who is wanting to step into leadership like this amazing woman has done with us in Happy Healthy Women, we would love to have you. And we are always expanding with our leadership. So Happy Healthy Women, actually www.hhwglobal.com, and love to hear from you as well on that. So thanks, Christine, and thank you everybody who has watched. Have a great rest of your day. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys. Bye, Christine.
Bye. Thank you.